Physicist Brian Swimme has said that if you leave hydrogen and helium alone for 14 billion years, it becomes rosebuds, giraffes, and humans. As we gather on this first Sunday in Lent, we're reminded that we come from stardust. On Wednesday night, when we received the imposition of ashes on our forehead, Pastor Marion and I said to you, remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return. Hear this meditation on the astral and the ancestral. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. We here are descended from stardust, gathered of galaxies, created of carbon. From the first tremblings of a vibrant planet we evolved. We carry the memory of the cosmos, the evolution of our cousins, the encoding of our kin, the adaptations of our cultures. From planet to people, our lives matter only as much as we mean to make it so. And it is infinitely, possibly, probably so. From the plan and planes of the astral and the ancestral, we transformed and are transforming still. A little over a month ago, maybe 2 months now, I was invited, Teresa and I, to Steve Mosier's house, Steve and Sue Mosier's house, for a party. And it was there that I was introduced by Steve to our speaker today. And Mark and I got to know each other a little bit that night and have since communicated really by email entirely now until today. And I had some months ago said to both Steve Mosier and to Earl Anderson, look, we do an Evolution Sunday at Trinity in February. Would either of you be willing to maybe enlighten us on the subject of evolution? And Steve wrote me back and said, well, I'm not the person you need to talk to, but I think maybe I know someone who is. And so he introduced me that night at his house to Mark, who was a professor of biology at UNC Charlotte. Mark received his Bachelor of Science and then PhD in Physiology from St. Louis University. In 1980, he went to the Yale School of Medicine as a postdoctoral fellow and then served as a research scientist until moving to Johns Hopkins School of Medicine as Director of Research for Pediatric Surgery and Robert Garrett Scholar in 1986. In 1996, he moved to UNC Charlotte as Chair of Biology, in which capacity he served until 2005. And in 2005, he co-founded, you may have to help me with this, Mark, Heptosis or Heptosis? Hepatosis Incorporated, a company, I believe you told me, along with your wife, that develops products for organ transplantation and provision of human cells for research purposes. Well, that's fascinating enough to me. We could stop there. But he continues to serve as Professor of Biology and Chief Scientific Officer for that company. He's also served on many advisory panels for the National Institute of Health and is a member of the Research Advisory Board for the Shriners Children's Hospitals. His many awards include the Charles Osee Award, a Research Award from Yale University, and the First Citizen Scholar Award from UNC Charlotte. I'm delighted that you have agreed to be with us today. I asked Mark by email after we had met and he had agreed to come what his fee was. He said, if you have to ask, you can't afford me. And I said, you're right, we can't afford you, but will you come anyway? And he said, I sure will. Maybe you could make a donation to a favorite charity, which I'll be happy that we can do. So without further ado, Dr. Mark Clemens, come and tell us about evolution.